Hey guys, and welcome back to another Valorant video. So I just wanted to update you guys on the news in case you haven't heard yet. Valorant is coming to phones and the mobile platforms now. Some credit goes to Polygon as I heard the news from them. And yeah, it's just a special surprise for the Valorant's 1-year anniversary, and let's get straight into it. So the announcement doesn't actually include many details about the game itself, but they sat down and had an interview with Anna, the executive producer over at Valorant, and according to Anna, the move to mobile started with a checklist of questions about what was core to Valorant and whether or not it could be accomplished on phones, which, to be honest, I'm surprised they were able to even complete this checklist, but I digress, let's keep going. If any of the items on the checklist couldn't be done, then Riot wouldn't continue with the project. The most important thing for the team, according to Anna, was ensuring that they weren't delivering a compromised version of Valorant for mobile players. The idea is for the game to not just be a port of Valorant PC's version to the phone, but a unique to mobile experience. And this is not surprising at all. If you guys know, obviously Riot makes League of Legends and they made Wild Rift for the mobile. It's not fully released yet, but I've played it and it is a unique version of League of Legends for mobile, and they make a lot of adjustments to make it feel good. Now, I never thought a MOBA like League could be on mobile, but in my opinion, after playing Wild Rift, they really did it. It's very well polished, one of the best games on a mobile device in terms of how polished it is and its infrastructure. So I wouldn't sleep on Riot, even though the idea itself is a little bit weird. I wouldn't sleep on Riot. I believe they actually can make it happen. The interview then goes on to say, we didn't start out with we're making Valorant on mobile. We started out with can we make Valorant on mobile, with a lot of skepticism. For us, whatever you get out of playing on PC, you should be able to get out of playing Valorant on mobile. We have to recognize that the mobile player need is different. Unfortunately, Anna did not go into detail about those differences just yet, which makes sense. It's very, very early, but the interview does keep on going with the next saying, the same way we're not going to deliver a subpar mobile experience for mobile players, we're not going to compromise the PC experience either. We're not trying to convert Valorant PC players into Valorant mobile players or vice versa. We're absolutely just as committed to keeping the PC experience as at the quality level it is or higher. We're not going to compromise it in order to address a mobile market. Which obviously makes sense, right? I mean, if I'm on the go or I'm somewhere far away, I'm not going to say I wouldn't want to play Valorant Mobile. At least I'll have something that's polished and fun to play, but it's not like I'm going to get home and instead of hopping on PC, I'm going to end up hopping on mobile. That doesn't exactly make sense, you know? One thing that Riot also did plan to do is create a console version of Valorant. However, for now, that's just something the team is exploring. It will take a backseat to mobile, which turned out to be a more natural fit to the game. As Anna says, oddly enough, I actually do think the transition to mobile has been slightly easier for us. Console is obvious for FPS, right? But this type of game, a tactical shooter on console, is not easy. It's not easy to have that level of competitive integrity on a platform where the controller is fighting you for that, and we just didn't want it. So we found out it took to mobile quicker, and it took to mobile easier. So yeah, the last thing is, as for when players will get the chance to play Valorant Mobile, Anna says we're not confirming dates, but something, or hopefully that's something we'll be able to see in 2 years. So mobile is still 2 years out, and a big thing is that mobile will not be cross-platform, so don't worry, you know, I mean, I wouldn't mind some cross-platform deathmatch, you know, imagine just dunking on a 7-year-old iPhone kid, but I digress. That's not happening. Obviously, we never want to see crossplay between something like mobile and PC. That's just a no-brainer. But other than that, it's still 2 years out, so I'm actually just surprised Riot even mentioned it. I mean, the fact Anna came out and just said, yep, it's coming, we're working on it, and it's still 2 years out, is kind of beyond me. That's too far away to really get hyped about, but I still wanted to update you guys on the news and just take a look at it. And honestly, I'm going to spend the next 3 minutes talking a little bit, just if you guys don't mind. That's just the news though. That's the article. Again, sources to Polygon, so make sure to check that out. You can click away if you want, but if you want to hear me ramble, stick around. So the first thing I want to say is that Valorant coming to mobile is huge for Valorant itself as well. I think a lot of people, they get afraid, what if the teams are split? What if Riot is focusing on, focusing on mobile more than PC? What if PC drops its quality? And besides the assurance of Anna herself, you don't really need to worry about that stuff, because anything that brings more players onto an IP is just beneficial. Of course, it's beneficial for the company because of monetary reasons. They'll make more money, but that usually means it's also beneficial for us. That means they're going to end up expanding their team. They're going to have more people working on Valorant as an IP. That means more ideas going around. That means more players brought into the game. It means a bigger community, which means longer longevity, etc., etc. Usually, when our favorite game gets super big and keeps getting bigger and bigger, it's usually very healthy outlook. Especially Riot has proven themselves. They've had League of Legends for a decade, over a decade, and they continue to update it, and the player base literally boom, one of the biggest games of all time, and that only benefited us, right? They keep playing it, even though, I've stopped playing League, they still consistent updates, consistent tweaks, they're on the ball with that stuff. So if there's anything about longevity, if there's any game in the world, if there's one company in the world that I think will have a game that keeps going beyond our lifetimes, I'm going to give it to Riot. Seriously, I don't think we're going to see these games die. At least in my opinion. Well, I guess only time will tell, but at least in my opinion. So that's the first biggest thing. The second biggest thing that I want to talk about is actually flipping the script. I'm talking very positive, but I'm wondering why they say that for competitive integrity, you have the controller fighting you the whole time. But on the flip side, they didn't say you have the touch controls fighting you the whole time, because touch controls are literally one of the worst controls. That's just a fact. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd prefer to play on a controller than a touch control. And honestly, a controller with no aim assist is extremely difficult, but technically it creates a skill gap, right? I mean, someone will still be better with the joysticks than someone else. So I'm not exactly sure how, I'm not sure. Maybe it's something about the fact, let's say on mobile, Brimstone pulls out his iPad, you can actually click where the smokes are going to go with your finger, and on mobile you'd have a cursor to move around, so it's going to slow down the experience immensely. That's a big one I could think of. I think the raw aim is not a big deal. Maybe it's more so ability usage. I'm not sure. There's lots of FPS. I mean, Apex, for example, is on mobile, uses a lot of abilities. Overwatch is on, sorry, not mobile. Overwatch is on console, uses a lot of abilities, but maybe the tactical aspect makes it very hard. And I'm just wondering why console was way harder than mobile, because I feel both have such harsh limitations, but I'm not a developer, so I'm not going to speak beyond my own point. I'm not too sure. Those are the two main things I wanted to address. One saying that it's good for the IP, lots of new players, and one just more so speculating how mobile was easier than console. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the same thing happened with Wild Rift, because we have it on mobile before we have it on console, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys make of this news in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date. I'm just doing news content as well as verses and other stuff. Let me know what you think about all this content in the comments down below. Make sure to leave a like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.